Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the top of the snake. It is a beautiful, quiet morning up here. Been up here like 15 minutes, haven't seen a single car. This is the brand new Audi S3. I reviewed the A3 last year, and I didn't love it. It wasn't particularly inspiring to drive, and you had to kind of load it up with options to get its Audi-ness. It was sort of it felt like a little bassy in the base version. And so the S3, I'm really excited about because it looks the business. It's with the body kit, with the wheels, with the accents. It looks really good, especially in this Sepang blue color. First and most importantly, USB ports. It's only for charging, but the Bluetooth is really good. Audi's MMI is good, and I can charge my phone on a USB port. Thank God. So let's put that away, and thank you, Audi, for listening to us. So let's go for a drive, shall we? Under the hood is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Basically Golf R setup. Let's get off there. Yeah, there are some controls. You can set up the car however you want. It comes with comfort, automatic, and dynamic mode, which is exactly as you think it is. Dynamic is super sport, comfort is super soft, and then you've got your individual settings, and you can set everything from the engine and steering response. It's electric power steering, so it does actually change how the weight of it. The damper control, it has magnetic dampers. You can change the engine sound. It has baffles in the exhaust that give it a bit of a different sound. So I'm gonna go, because we're driving quickly, I'll go to dynamic, which is the full beans sport. We'll go into manual mode. Dual clutch is the only gearbox available. And let's look for traction control. Where are you, traction control? There you are. All right, ESC sport, ESC off. All right, let's go for a drive. 300 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. Turns in really nice. Oh, the steering is very direct. Let's cut the curb and see how that goes. There it is. Very nice. Unlike the Ford turbo engines, this one is a little more turbo-y. Wow, okay. Cold roads, and was able to huck it in and actually slide through that corner a little bit. It's a little chilly out here, 45 degrees. This is a quick car. Audi says 0 to 60 in 4.8 with launch control, and I believe that, because when the turbo comes on, it is a thruster. But yeah, higher up in the RPM band. It's not that 2,000 RPM shove like you get in the Fords. It's the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 RPM peakiness. Gear changes are very immediate. Sound isn't exactly what I would call inspiring, but it gets the car going. I love the steering. Not a big fan of the flat bottom wheel, even though it's directly out of the R8. I just think if you don't need the space, you might as well make it round. I love the size of the car. It is the right size, and points to Audi for selling us a fun, cool car that is the right size. Back seat's a little snug, but up front, it's actually quite roomy and airy. There's a lot of space down by my knees here. It feels, for at least if you have 2 big people in the car, very roomy in the front. These seats will be familiar to anyone who's driven an S4 or RS4 of the B7 variety. Oh, now here's the problem. I hit redline right there before the corner, and rather than holding the gear, it did shift up, so I had to do an extra downshift. So I wish it would just stay at redline. So yeah, the diffs are open. However, you've got a simulated torque vectoring, brake vectoring setup. Well, with the exception of that botched gear change, or shifting up and hitting redline, pretty impressive on the way down the hill. The chassis is very predictable, and although Chris Harris might complain that you can't really drift it, even though I managed to do that up there, I think this so far is a pretty impressive little package for 49 grand. Except I can't see anymore, so I need to go defroster. It's what I get for turning off the climate control. Get a quick blast. Also, I know the audio's been a little crackly in some of our one takes. I'm working on it. I apologize. We're trying some different setups, so if the sound is a little wonky, please forgive me. Well, good even thrust. Really, really no change in torque when you change gear. It's very, very seamless. Volkswagen's dual clutch is second best to Porsche's. I guess unless Ferrari's is good too. We can count them, but not at this price point. But if you want a really good dual clutch box, this is about the best you're gonna do south of a PDK. This corner usually shows understeer, and there it is, but it comes around, little application of throttle, and it sent the power to the back and brought it around. Brakes are really good, nice firm pedal. Can be a little touchy when you're driving slowly, but when you're driving fast, it's right there for you. Oh, speaking of driving slowly, probably my least favorite part of this car is going slowly over a speed bump at an angle. There is no setting in the car that makes that bearable, and God help you if you do that with a cup of coffee in your hand. Be prepared to shell out for an interior cleaning. Really nice through that section, very predictable. Once you get some heat in the tires, it's sticky. This is a quick car, man. And I imagine our friends at APR down in Alabama have something that'll really wake it up and really make it a monster. It's easy to drive, it's fast. I really like this car as a daily in the city. It's really easy to park, it's really easy to see, the backup camera is good. I have a lot of nice things to say about this car. I genuinely really enjoy it. It's essentially a Golf R drivetrain underneath an Audi body. And when you get the Audi body fully loaded with the dual climate controls and the good gauges and the good seats, this is a good looking, good feeling, good driving little car. So, you know, is it worth the premium over the Golf R? I mean, probably if you've got it. Is it better than the M135, which is essentially the same price? Depends. Do you need the all-wheel drive? Do you need easier access to the back seat? And do you need a manual gearbox? If you don't need all-wheel drive, you don't need a back seat, and you don't need a manual gearbox, I think this is a very viable option. If you must have manual, if you must have rear-wheel drive, you're not going to like this car very much. But I like it. I'm a pretty big fan, actually. I think as a well-rounded kind of do-everything car that's not as big as the S4, it's not as understeery as the S4, and it's a nice place to be. It's a nice car. I think they've done very, very well here. So yeah, if you're into Audis and you miss the size of the B5 Audis, this is about that size. And neat little car. Go have yourself a test drive because at 49 grand out the door, I think this is a pretty compelling package. Cool. All right. See you guys next time. Back to more fan cars.